the Canadian Food Inspection Agency lied to us. We were in the pens, and all we were asking to do was to humanely feed our animals while they prepare. We wanted to humanely feed them to keep them calm, keep them, giving them the routine and with the familiarities, the faces that they've been used to for 35 years while they prepare. We said we were not there to obstruct, we were not there to do anything. We just wanted to feed our animals so that they got fed properly while there was going to be all these strangers and loud noises and all the fear that they're going to go through. And we sat in the pens waiting for that confirmation. We were not looking to get arrested. We were hoping that they would just come to common sense that this is one of the hardest things that this family is going through, but they don't have a heart. Let's remember that. There's no empathy on the Canadian Food Inspection Agency. I really have to get into that. There's cold and malice and heartless, and we've known that for a long time. I've been trying to be really kind of the importance of their organization and really back that up within Canadians, how important the Canadian Food Inspection Agency is to have. But the people that are working there, they need a complete reform. So we were waiting to hear to see if they came to common sense and let us feed our animals, and then we got a okay. We could go and feed our animals, and it was just this breath of like a weight off our chest that at least in all of this turmoil and chaos and anxiety and sadness and fear and tyranny and overreach and you name it that we're going through, psychological warfare, and that at least we could go feed our animals. So we went to go feed our animals, loaded up the truck, and my mom and I were crying, we're happy. And we get to the first pen, and they got us away from everybody that could film. They didn't want anybody to see what was happening, and there was a bunch of police cruisers and their paddy wagon that surrounded our farm truck and told us that we were under arrest and that we were being taken away and we were not allowed to feed our animals. So psychological warfare, torment, torture, complete disrespect of any humane actions for these animals that are going to be tortured and go through one of the worst heinous crimes in Canadian history. And they came and arrested my mom and I. So we get taken away. First of all, though, we have them in their hazmat suits. This is kind of funny, I guess, because the whole time that we've been here in the past few days that the police have been here, they're all breaking quarantine law. Nobody's wearing PPE. Everyone's at the fence. They're breaching quarantine laws. They're touching the fence. They're on the grass. They're driving around the quarantine zone. They're in the hot zone. Then they're leaving, and then they're all going to the hotels in Vernon, and they're eating, and they're driving around on our highways. And so they can all break the law. And we have supposedly such a crazy virulent threat of H5N1, avian influenza, on our farm, but they're breaking every law possible and to do with that. So here they are. They're arresting us, and they're in their hazmat suits. And my poor mom, seeing her in cuffs today, handcuffs, and she's the hardest working woman you've ever met. She has a heart of gold, and she would feed anybody and take in any animal. She wakes up for these animals, she goes to bed for these animals, and everything for our family has been these animals. But watching her in handcuffs was probably one of the hardest things in my life. I begged them to take the handcuffs off her because she's not violent. I said, we're going. And we went to go get into the police car, the paddy wagon. And my mom bumped her head really bad getting in, crying. And we just held each other. And they took us away to a YRB lot it's a YRB lot, a yard where they house all the trucks that work on the highways in Edgewood, British Columbia. That is their staging zone here. And we got there, and they have all of their command centers set up. They have a helicopter landing little thing to set down on the ground. They have their semi, and they have their fence panels that have been dropped off by Super Save gas, or oh gosh, I'll think about it. I think it's Super Save. My mind is a little gone right now. And they set 2 plastic chairs out for us, separated. And so we had to sit apart. Read us our, went through all their stuff, took our photos. We just, sat there. We watched one of the gentlemen. This is very important. So he's still wearing his hazmat suit. The same hazmat suit that he was in the quarantine area that is supposedly supposed to be so highly infected that he's now walking around their staging area. So he's driven out of the quarantine area, went in their staging area. Then we mentioned, we're like, oh my God, he's still wearing his hazmat suit. And then he proceeds to take it off pretty quick. But his pole with his camera that he's holding gets passed off to another police officer. And then that other police officer is now, if you're following my lead or on this, then now that police officer would have been infected, right? If we're really dealing with a virus, which we're not. So then he hands that off to him. Then he goes and takes his pole back and proceeds then to give us their personal cell phone to call our lawyer. Well, my mom and I have not been decontaminated out of the most virus impacted zone. So we still have ostrich poop on our feet. Our hands were just touching the buckets and the birds all day. And they're handing us their own personal cell phone to phone our lawyer. I hope you're picking up what I'm laying down here. This has nothing to do with a virus. And they know these animals aren't infected. They know that there's no threat here. And there would never have been a threat here because these animals have a firewall. They have antibodies. And that is what they want gone. So we sat there for a couple hours, I think it was, I don't know, after crying so long and just sitting there and watching her and us looking at each other, shaking our heads going, can you believe this? Here we are arrested for defending our own animals on our own property and our livelihoods. Thank you to everybody for your love and support and all of the welcome homes when we got back. We wouldn't be able to make it through this without all of your love and support. But I just think it's really important for everybody to know that, they're breaking so many quarantine rules.
Look at who it is. Hi. It's Sheila, Gunn, Reid, drove all the way from Alberta. Mm-hmm. You're at the farm. Yep. We're waiting here because something could potentially go down. But as we wait, what's your first impression?
What an interesting cross-section of humanity. Yeah, there's people from all walks of life here. People who would normally, in a different time, cross the street to avoid each other. And they're all here united because they believe that what's happening here is government overreach. Oh my goodness, this is the first time I'm seeing the ostriches.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
Because I came here at night and for those of you who don't know, I don't like ostriches. I don't like birds, so these are really big birds. But there's something kind of charming about their weird little faces.
Their eyes.
Yeah, and it's very clear to me, based on the sheer volume of police officers here who are not in any sort of hazmat suit. They're not, they're wearing gloves in case they have to manhandle people. But they're not in masks. It's pretty clear that these birds are not the catastrophic biohazard event that the CFIA would have you believe. These are birds that for 252 days have been entirely healthy. Their eggs are used in medical research for COVID-19 and of course for avian flu. If they are killed, if they are killed, then that research.
Right. I'm just going to interrupt to update on what's happening. So you can see the police are all standing here, and they want to speak with the farmers. but we're not allowed to go over there. So my understanding was Jeff was going to try to get them to come over this way so we could all be present. And so I'm going to walk you guys over here because I think they're going to drive this way. But look, they've been here all night. And you guys should know that the warrant, by the way, that was issued allowed us to get a little bit of sleep. The warrant says that nothing can be done by the CFIA. And by the way, it's the CFIA's warrant, not the RCMP's. And it says that after 9 p.m. and before 6 a.m. they're not allowed to, do any of their duties. So everybody was allowed to, not sleep with one eye open for a little bit there. So that was really nice. So here, what's happening is they're saying, no, if you want to talk to the farmers, do it where everybody can see. So they're walking over this way.
It's not going to get any better over here with the loud.
It's not happening?
These fucking guys keep trying to isolate them.
I know.
And
I know they are.
I know exactly what they're trying to do right now.
What do you think they're trying to do, Jeff?
Well, they're essentially trying to play the good. They're using Paul, because everybody trusts Paul, to try to create a level of comfort for Katie to be right there with. Do you see how they have a zone separated from us with a whole lot of officers right there, and we're not allowed to access that area? It's not very hard to apprehend them in this situation. All that's between them and them is one little thin fence, right? I mean, what Paul's doing right now is he's letting them know that, hey, this is what's going to happen. We know that. This is what's going to happen. This is what they want to do. This is your timeline. If you don't come out, these are going to be the consequences of it. Eventually, they're going to try say them being in the pen is obstruction at the end of the day.
So what have they said? Because yesterday we showed the public that they were saying, you need to get out now.
So what
and Dave was saying, no, the CFIA, the head veterinarian, Kathy, I forget the name.
Yeah, I know who you're talking.
Sorry, not the veterinarian. Courtney Fotheringham,
yeah.
and upper with the CFIA, was saying by letter that they need to be in there to feed them. So how can they kick them out?
Well, there's nobody on their staff that is skilled enough to take care of this issue, to know how to handle these birds, to know the feeding procedures, all that stuff. I think the CFI claim yesterday was we'll bring in a load of food and we'll take over the feeding responsibilities as of tomorrow with a different feed. And we all know, like, even your dog at home, if you have a dog and it eats this food and tomorrow you switch to that food and you start regularly feeding it, it's going to get sick.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen to these birds when this new food is introduced to them and they're starting to eat that? They're going to show signs of illness, aren't they?
Exactly. And I mean, we all know it's impossible to perform a humane culling for any animal that's healthy. That's not a thing. But the other thing I'm going to do a report on in full so you see, and I'll put a clip of it, but be warned.
Why are you arguing?
There's an injured ostrich over here because of this operation. The RCMP was flying their drones far too low, and it caused complete hysteria with the birds. I have never seen them run around the way they were running. They can run very fast. They were terrified because they're thinking there's prey hovering around their heads. And so one of the hens ran right full speed. These guys can go 50 to 70 miles per hour into a fence, injured herself, is unable to walk. There's two veterinarians here. I interviewed one for a report, a recap of day one that our producer is working on. I'll see if I can find the other one. But there's two veterinarians here that have been calling different animal health organizations and also calling the CFIA and say there's nothing humane about this. You guys have an injured bird here. No vet is coming in here to help. The RCMP did say, okay, fine, we'll stop flying the drones. And I did interview an officer about that, about them making the call. But the point is they don't even know what the heck they're doing here. And maybe you should start by not coming to kill 400 healthy birds in the first place. So I don't know why the farmers didn't come over this way. The cops must be making them think they can't, I guess. But we'll have another look at what's going on.
Dear Commander, we've got minutes. You are going to see healthy animals butchered.
Oh, it looks like Katie's walking over to the people, so Let's see what she has to
How
say.
can you stand there? How can you stand there? How can you stand there, guys?
This is how it starts. You slowly take away people's freedoms, and then it's going to be too late, and all our freedoms are gone.
Who's gonna be there?
Look at Katie. Don't turn away from her.
Sorry
Look at
guys,
her.
I'm just
kids are gonna say
gonna switch this. Let me get my mug out of here in a sec. Here, let's switch the angle. There we go.
Free. What is this? Germany? Nazi Germany? Should be ashamed of yourself.
You take sleeping pills to get over this at night?
Stand up for what's right.
I bet you have to.
The wrath will come down on you.
You guys know good and well these birds are healthy.
Come on, guys, put your badge down, walk on this side, and become the proper, healthy,
Hey, you in the back.
immune. Hey,
CFIA.
you guys are in the
Once
danger
you had a
zone, aren't
positive
you?
PCR test, you were supposed to do an HIV-N1 test. I talked to a chicken farmer last night.
All we've asked is to stay out of their way and feed the animals while they get set up. That's all we've asked. Feed the animals while you get set up. We'll feed the animals while you get set up.
What are they saying now, Katie?
No, we're not allowed to feed our own animals. What? So strangers are gonna come in, our animals are gonna live in fear for the last moments of their life. And they're not gonna know what's going on.
That explains the 2 trucks coming.
We can't feed our own animals while they get prepared to kill defenseless, healthy animals while RCMP's officers smirk at us.
Katie, I know you have a message, but just back to the PCR test back from day one. I talked to a chicken farmer last night. And he said during COVID, they did move to a system where they went to PCR tests. But he said once you had the positive PCR test, then they had to do an H5N1 test. I told them they didn't. He said no way. He said call your lawyer. They did not follow their protocol. PCR test, they could do it. They were supposed to do H5N1. They did not follow it up. That's from a chicken farmer who had 45,000 chickens culled.
So we have to tell you. Those you don't come out. Come on, everyone, share the love. What's going on, Paul?
Officer Paul? Officer Paul?
My dad can't
What
get
about
back
the
in.
letter from the CFIA that said they could feed them when they were requested?
Guys, you gotta get back across the other. Take 6 feet.
Aren't you guys scared of catching avian flu? You're passing too. Or is that the cop one? Okay.
Thank you. Just get your step back.
Be proud of yourself.
Be proud of them.
All right, Sheila, what does it feel like to see, the farmers' tears for the first time in person?
As I said, I don't care for ostriches, but I do know what it's like to be a farmer whose livelihood is tied up in the land and the livestock. And this is an absolute abomination. But let me tell you, I feel for these cops. It's pretty clear that they don't want to be here. They're being raided by some of the protesters here. I don't like to see it. I know the personal cost that some of these officers have to do this job. And it is the bad guys, the real villains, are the nameless. The real bad guys are the nameless, faceless CFIA bureaucrats making these horrible decisions in some cubicle somewhere where they don't have to come out and face the farmers, face the protesters. They just send the cops to do their dirty work, and they get to keep their hands clean. And I think that's a real abdication of who the real villains are here.
True patriot love. Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free.
Ram the fence with your fucking truck, man. Just take it all down.
They're gonna come for you anyways.
That might be a good one. Just take the fence out, take your truck and run right through.
So here's the dilemma: is it worth getting arrested and not being able to be
Well, if
a
they,
pinnacle?
if they arrest us, the paddy wagon's there.
And you're not
We'll
coming
take-
back.
and we
Either
won't
way,
be
you're
coming
gone.
back.
And I
Either way,
don't
you're
think
gone.
that's beneficial at
No,
the end of the day.
that's
It
not.
doesn't make sense to me. Katie's voice, your voice, Karen's voice, they need to be
I
part
think-
of this.
I think talking with the RCMP is our best bet, and that's what I'm doing right now. CFIA is staying in the background.
So
They're-
if you
they're
walk,
trying to-
if you walk out of here and just come on out this side, they will not arrest you.
No.
they will not.
No.
But if they have to come get you, they will.
If we stay here, they will.
So that's your call between you three. Is what's more beneficial for the game, right?
Yeah. Well, if they haul us away, we're not beneficial.
I know.
No. I mean, and if they're coming in either way, regardless, we got to think about the
What-
big picture.
Yeah. What I want to do is get the right to feed them one more time.
Yeah, I agree. If you can negotiate that to
Yeah.
stay in here during today
Yeah.
and get yourself to that point, that seems a reasonable request.
And
Like,
if you think you've got
Dave.
an opportunity, and if you want, sorry, you're not recording, right?
Yeah.
Can you shut it down just a
Okay, can I ask one quick
Yeah.
question? Do
I
you
will
have
make
any
one.
say in what they're feeding? And is there, you have one that needs medical attention? What about that? How are they going to address all those things?
We don't know what's in the feed. We've asked for a sample of it to get it tested.
Okay.
There's numbers. See, the thing is, the CFIA, the person we've been dealing with, Courtney Fotheringham, wrote us a letter yesterday
Right.
morning.
I got a
And
copy
in
of that
that-
if you want to see it.
Yeah, and in that it says she asked us to work with them, making sure the birds are taken care of and to feed them. Now, the CFIA, Mark from the CFIA, Yablonsky, is saying that doesn't matter. He's in charge of enforcement.
Right.
So we got two things from the CFIA, and what we're going by is the letter that we got from Fotheringham,
Make sure all
Right.
your phones are charged.
because that is
We're
asking
gonna
us to
need
help,
that for hours.
and we can help. We want to make sure these birds are taken care of right to the last minute.
That's a responsibility
Thank
of,
you.
of the animal health and
That's-
safety act. That's what you do.
All right, so you got to see a little bit of sort of their strategy that they're coming up with. The dilemma is, A, who's going to take care of these birds, our birds, their birds, effectively, properly? And are they more valuable getting arrested or coming out here and standing on the other side of the fence of their own herd? That seems to be the dilemma that the farmers are considering. Remember, there's 3 of them in there right now. You have co-owner of the farm, Karen Esperson, or Katie Pasitny. All 3 of them are in there. And they're not doing anything out of the normal, by the way. Every time I've been here, this is what they do. They get up in the morning and they go out there into the field and they do all the chores and they feed the birds, and it takes hours. So it's not like they're doing anything abnormal here, but they did stay overnight in the pens, obviously, last night. So the cops are trying to clear them out so that the CFIA can come in, and they've said, I guess you'll be arrested if you don't come out willingly. How does that look? How are officers going to arrest ostrich farmers around ostriches, 350-pound
ostriches, if they actually have to go in there, that's kind of a scary thought too, because when officers feel like their life is threatened, if a dog charges at them, they do shoot the dog. So that's a scary thought.
Don't just stand there like robots.
Control the criminals, the ones that might do us harm.
Pedophiles, they're next. What about the people that hurt children? Come on, you guys. Why you people
At
are
least
kids
he
in at
swallows.
night
I
and say
saw
daddy
that.
ushered in fucking communism?
Is this Nazi Germany or what? Don't we have criminals to fight? How many cops do we need here?
You guys know
I'm still positive we're going to win it. We're going to win it. It's just a battle that is taking this long for more people to know. That's all it is. We're just waking up more people every minute. But we're going to win.
What you've been here for the long haul. So what do you make of the dilemma the farmers are facing right now, which is, do they take the stand? Do they not leave this pen? Do they keep feeding their animals and risk getting arrested? Or do they come out, cross over here and try to fight from over here?
That's a tough battle. But no, I think once they leave the pen, it's doomsday. We've heard they have poison feed to give the birds, and they need to be there to feed their birds every day. If they're not going to allow them back in the pen,
you know it.
They're over for the birds.
You've seen it.
So no, they need to stay where they are, and we're right here. We're just right here. They are on our side of the fence. And obviously, we're here for them. And no, this is a stall tactic for. I don't know if it has anything for the government, but it's a stall tactic, I think, for God.
Over. Today I learned that this is being covered in China now. There's been news talking about the ostriches all the way in China. We already know the United States, and I imagine other places, other
Holland. We had a couple come from Holland. They didn't have anybody to come visit. They heard about this, and they jumped on a plane, and they came to support the family from Holland. So yeah,
it just takes one of you to join us.
And I think this story is making conspiracy realist,
so
because some of my family that kind of hasn't really woken up with all the other stuff is kind of like, but why are they killing the ostriches? And I keep saying they just won't retest them, and they're like, but there must be a reason. I'm like, no, they've been healthy and asymptomatic for this many days, and it's making people go, what the heck is going on here? It's a unifying issue.
That's the only reason it's still going. It's just to wake up more people. God doesn't want everyone dead. He wants people to come to him and to see the beauty in this world and the light and love this farm emits. and this farm emits a lot of light and love.
All right, Drea, Humphrey here with Rebel News. As we reported on Sheila Gunn Reid's live, we're trying to see if this is a better connection. I am in the air. Rebel News has eyes in the sky, and behind me we have Sheila Gunn Reid. A straight line. They're putting all of the hay in a straight line. Maybe they're going to make a square, I'm not sure. All your tax dollars.
So over here, just about 3 minutes down the road from the farm, sort of hidden amongst many trees, we can see a bunch of Ideal lease trucks with many hay bales, which is consistent with what Rebel News sources told me would be the case, that CFIA had used tax dollars to go ahead and buy these hay bales, just as we reported. I believe these trucks are based out of Dawson area, And you can see police are also guarding here. So I have obviously not had time to reach out to the company as I would normally do. But you guys are seeing exactly what we're seeing here right now. I'm going to let you listen to some of the supporters out here trying to, I guess, convince the RCMP to back down, while I assume they're getting their other supporters and other people online to maybe call this company and try to do a last minute back out. There's already been at least 3 companies who have backed out. I believe there's a 4th. I have been meaning to investigate that all day and haven't had a chance, that have backed out of the Canadian Food Inspection Agency's cull plans. So for the 400 healthy ostriches, let's listen in.
You guys can leave.
This is really amazing to see that you have your future and their future in your hands. Like, you have that power, and it takes one. There's one of 100 cops who just says no. And if it happens to be you, I think you're going to find your fellow officers deciding that this is criminal to kill or be complicit in the killing of these animals. And I think it's really imperative that if in fact if this one of the 100 is you, you'll be celebrated for the rest of your life by the world. And we are so thankful for your being here. Please do what you think you need to do, and that is not put your head on the pillow tonight to see these birds killed.
Watch the video.
I think this is important information for all of us. And I just talked to Karen, who's the owner of this farm. I've been here for many, many months. I just talked to the owner of the farm. I know you are here to keep peace and uphold the law. What you're upholding the law is that the court order has said that these birds and the appeal have been denied. But as of right now, today, that appeal is in place, and it's in place to be heard. So that is coming from the owner of the farm, that the appeal is in place as of today. So talk to whoever it is you are, because the appeal is in place.
Are you the commanding officer, sir?
Absolutely not.
What is your name and badge number?
My badge number 50521.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
I so appreciate.
I'm just saying that there's an appeal that has been officially in place, and you guys, I guess, better coagulate over that, and because you're here to uphold the law.
So you heard that from the farmers themselves?
From Karen.
So do you know if they got a stay order while they're waiting for the appeal?
This is the real official thing is that Karen said the appeal order and the stay is in place, just that they haven't heard it yet.
Right. So the stay order is what I know the lawyer was also trying to get to say, hey, this needs to pause while we are heard for an appeal. Do you know anything about that?
So ideal lease, everybody knows. Please go back.
From Karen's just before he got in the car
drive
to get
home,
here.
buddy.
Just now.
Okay.
She said the
Drop
appeal
the
is
trailer
happening,
and
the
go.
stay is happening, it's in place, and they just haven't
trailer.
Did she say
the
stay?
stay
Do it
is
right.
in place.
Oh.
But they have not got it yet.
Okay, well, you're hearing the news as I'm hearing it. I have not confirmed this with the lawyer or with the farmers. I will do both of those before I say that that is accurate. But based on what this man says, he says just before we race down here, the farmer claims that the stay, and remember a stay is sort of a pause, a legal pause, to allow more legal avenues to be pursued. This man claims that they got both the stay and the ability for a appeal. Now there's two different things. It could be for a request for an appeal in a Supreme Court, or they could have been approved to actually have an appeal heard. That doesn't mean approved. So I'm going to confirm all that. Let's hope, because that would mean everything is at the very least paused. It is possible that a judge could say, we'll hear your case, but we won't give you the stay you're requesting. That's already happened to them once before. It does seem a little weird that they would do that, because it's like, well, what if the birds get killed? But I mean, you can see everybody working together. It's quite remarkable to see how the people are coming together. And this isn't cancel culture. What they're doing is informing these companies, so far almost all of which who have said we didn't even know our vehicles were being used for this. So they're informing them, like, you don't want your name attached to this, do you? So the officers, just as I was getting out of the car, some of the supporters tried to hop over to get to the hay there. And the officer said, you're not allowed over here, you're not allowed on the property, which is interesting. So now they're putting up, now that they've been spotted for guarding the things, they're putting up some caution tape there. Oh, and I should make a correction. Somebody whispered in my ear, it's not based out of Dawson, reportedly from the person who said it. It's Ideal Lease Trucks, Dawson Ideal Lease Trucks, based out of Kelowna. So I will again in writing confirm if that is all true, as this is all happening now. Mike, you've been with the farm helping them for quite some time. What does it feel like to see, all of these resources being here, and it actually seems like doomsday could be near, but you guys are having these little wins along the way?
The Lord Jesus Christ is in control. And when we put our prayers together, we get police lines that have some people at concern with bale haze. Like, this is the most amazing thing, and we are so thankful for every supporter. And Drea, she's amazing. She's done a great job. Oh, hold on.
Get the drone. Get the drones out.
Can you get to the back?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's Mike Quigley. He's always coming up with all these interesting ideas to help the farm. One, I think you're working on a Christmas stocking.
Thank you. Can I do
a
plug
you
on
know
that
what?
one? Thank you
Why
very
not?
Much. Oh, I love it. This Wednesday we have an eBay. Please, Katie has got an ostrich Christmas miracle stocking. We think that if we get these ostriches to Christmas, that's a Christmas miracle. And so in doing so, we have got this initiative, and Michelle Renke is also a contributor of a stocking, and we're providing 4 ostriches support to Christmas. Please check out the ostriches Christmas ostrich. Let me get this right. It's the Christmas.
It's your campaign.
I know, but.
So much going on. I'm the same way, you guys. It's just, while you're thinking of that, I don't know.
Ostrich Christmas miracle. I got it.
Okay.
Please, on eBay, check it out. Bid it up as high as you possibly can, and let the world know that you have been a supporter, and 100% of the money, other than what eBay takes, is going to the farm directly. So if you're out in all North America and you want to know how you can support these farmers, they basically have been 9 months, they haven't been able to sell a toenail off that. They've got $300,000 in legal fees, and they're just trying to starve this family off the land. And it's time that we take a stand. And what really concerns them is the fact that there's finances behind this farm, and if we can do anything. So we have this weekly miracle, and I would ask very badly that if in fact we could, when you win the stocking, you pass that on to the others, so you can then go to the next week. And as a matter of fact, Wednesday is the Christmas Eve. So this is going to be running to Christmas Eve. Thank you very much for the plug.
All right. Thanks, Mike.
Anyways,
all right. So let's take a walk down here and see what they saw over there, or what there's some supporters.
Where?
Sorry?
There's a shirt or something there.
Oh, yeah.
Whereabouts?
I don't know who that is. But what I was going to say is, reporting here for a week at a time, 2 weeks at a time, 4 days at a time, whatever I've done, it's constantly up and down. And being a Rebel News reporter, I already feel like I'm constantly on adrenaline. Like, even if I'm writing a story and you're passionate about the story, you're like, I can't believe Canada's come to this. You still have that little element of adrenaline, but nothing compares to, I'll walk this way so you can see me. And you know what? You get a good muscle workout, by the way, if you walk backwards. Compliments to behind the scenes Rebel Alex, and I can never pronounce his last name, so I'm not going to try. But anyways, it is nothing compared to what these farmers are going through on a daily basis, the ups, the downs, the constantly being on guard, constantly thinking the CFIA was going to come any day, right? Because how the heck are they even still alive 252 days? Like, that's a miracle in itself. And Mike Quigley was talking about a Christmas miracle if it gets to a year. Well, the thing is, there's actually something really to that, because, and I'm forgive me, I don't know the exact wording, but I don't know if I think it's the CFIA's order. The CFIA's order, something like that, is only for 1 year. Like, they have to finish this within 1 year. And so this began in December, and we're heading into October almost. So you just never know. What are you guys seeing over there? What do you see over there?
The driver's in the truck.
Oh, the driver. Apparently the driver's in the truck right now. So let's go have a look.
Where are you expecting an ambulance? Just get a sense of their vitality, their life force. You can see observably that they're healthy. You don't need to be an expert for that. I implore you, do what's right. Take the time to suss it out for yourself. Don't just do what you're told. Go see them for yourselves. Feel into it. And ask yourself, truly, outside of the boundaries of the shell of your professionalism.
Hey, Daniel, move over about 20 feet because the truck driver's right there.
That's who you want to talk to.
That's who you want to talk to.
So they're trying to plead with the truck drivers to reconsider. It looks like a bunch of blue fencing
Hey buddy, you can turn your back,
also there on the trucks, and I think that is what I spoke about earlier and what Sheila was talking about earlier, who's also live streaming. It's great to have another rebel up here. So I think that's from Super Save Group. You know, it took a lot of planning into, coming up with a task force, having briefings, the CFIA finding companies and all of this. And I can't help but imagine that even the RCMP might be slightly impressed with the farm's operation, the eyes that they had. I mean, the farmers and also us too, we had sources everywhere telling us what to expect, when it was going to happen. Even though they were living under the fear that it could happen, we were told solid information, and it's all kind of concerning to see it all come to light. But I think they must be going, who the heck are these farmers and their supporters?
I think it's 631699. I'm not sure.
That's whose yard this is. So Curtis is the contact. Get the number.
There's an ambulance over there. I'm not quite sure, but it does remind me of something else that happened yesterday in case you missed it. With everything that the farmers are dealing with, in addition to that, Katie Pisitny, who many of you now know, and her mother, they help care with the rest of their family for Katie's father, Karen, the farm owner's husband. His name is Eric Pisitny. He's a paraplegic who can no longer, do the farm duties. And yesterday he had to be taken off of the property by ambulance. I don't know all the ins and outs of what exactly happened there, and it's his private information anyways. But a huge part of that is the fact that these farmers are at this epic battle for their birds. They're actually in the hens all the time, currently battling with the police right now, where the police are saying, get out or you'll basically be arrested. So they haven't been able to care for Eric, who's in the house, heartbroken over what's happening on his land in the first place, like the amount of stress that would put on him. It's unimaginable what's happening, and to see the state against farmers, family-owned farmers who are just trying to save their healthy flock, because it's not right to kill them. It's not right to kill them when they're healthy. This is an injustice. that has been happening over and over and over. And many, by the way, of the farmers who are not saying anything, well, they're getting a lot of money. They're getting a lot This is Trucker Convoy 2025. Anyways, yeah. So anyways, they're just going through so much, and it's quite impressive. And I always like to say, like, it's so remarkable how everything is intertwined in this fight. Like the fact that it's about farming sovereignty, but it's also about big pharma and the right to not only have the mRNA options that they're trying to shove down our throats, or I guess inject inside of us, I should say, and to have something that actually is based on antibodies. The same thing we were fighting about. All the people were saying, why do I have to get a COVID vaccine when I had COVID? I already know I have antibodies for it. That was all of a sudden unscientific. Well, now you have these research birds involved in antibody therapeutic research having success. I spoke about this yesterday, about the hurdles that have come in during their journey to do it, mysterious hurdles. And this is, of course, the biggest. But it's a fight for scientific freedoms, the rights for us to not just have a big pharma monopoly and to allow this research to go on to see what they can come up with. Can they find a better alternative to the avian flu? Well, it would make sense that that would be the natural immunity, because guess what? They say, even the CFIA says, this virus is coming to the birds from the wild who are naturally immune and not dropping dead from the virus. And by the way, other animals are getting the avian flu too, and they're all fine because the ones that were sick died, and then the strong survived as God intended and gave those antibodies that resilience to their offspring. What is the CFIA doing with its WHO inspired policy? It is wiping out any chance for these animals to build up resilience. And so you have these prehistoric creatures, these beautiful, majestic birds that live for like as long as humans almost. They've already, some of them on the farm are 35 years old. And they have such robust antibodies, even in their eggs, in their offspring. And they're just trying to wipe all that out. Go figure. So we'll see if anything else is happening. I would imagine the truckers are at least on the phone with their, are you going back to the farm?
Not yet.
Okay. With their owners at the very least, because again, much of the people involved in this had no clue. I'll take this time to talk to you about the one that I do want to investigate. So Rebel News, one of the other information we broke was the likely disposable company, Nucor Environmental Solutions. I have very credible sources on this, but you know what? They are, and I'm not even going to say they're claiming they didn't have the contract, because that's the thing. You have to be wise when you read these statements. They're not saying they never had the contract. And I don't have the statement in front of me, so I can't read it exact, and I will put a full report on. But just to back up, this has been literally time sensitive and life or death, because I didn't know when these birds were going to die. I knew it was going to go down this past weekend or begin. And so I said that. I said that in my media inquiry to them. I have reason to believe you are the company that deals with disposable. Now, I also believe they were the company that deals with culling, based on my sources and my research, but I could not find any evidence that they do the culling. You know, I could not find anything to support it. So I didn't even mention that to you guys. I just said disposable because they do that kind of service and they advertise that in many ways. So I said they're the likely disposable company. But before I said that to you, I gave them a very, very clear media inquiry about what I was going to be saying to the public, why it's important for them to correct me if I'm wrong on anything. And of course, I asked them things like, how much of the contract that you're getting? What do you have to say to people who are going to think it's unethical for your company to, participate in this, A, before they've had their final recourse explored in the legal avenue, but B, when there's been no retesting. In fact, the animals that are being culled have never been tested. And so I'll put it all out when we actually publish this. Well, hopefully it's true they got their stay.
The back of a paddy wagon.
So this is where we're going?
Paddy wagon.
Did he drop a pin? En route, 30 minutes or so. We'll be there in advance. Okay, that's incredible.
You've been arrested. You're gone.
Well, we found a spot.
Paul,
where we
you
have to
turned
drive
on your community.
There's a bit
Now
of a
you're
crisis.
turning on all of us.
Yeah, maybe text him back.
The government's turning on us.
The government is
Did you see it's on blood? Well, thank you. That's why I'm the boss.
I'm gonna go over there though, so somebody.
Okay. All right.
Paul's turned like a fucking. Oh.
You guys stay back, please. Give us some more.
The Nakas police officer Paul and Reid and to his sister. And so we're lawyer Omar Sheikh as well. So we'll be able to.
Yep.
Who's trying to I don't know.
I'd like to know.
Update our helicopter ride that we are.
Hey, Bill.
No, that was canceled.
What do you mean it was canceled? They're
Done.
over at the White Yard.
Yeah.
What was canceled?
I think the
How
feed
can you
trucks.
say that?
The hay?
Yeah. Canceled.
Did it officially? Maybe you.
No, I know. I have some.
the call!
We like to know that we they're not probably license plates. Like, they'll be identified. Yes.
And then what
I had to pull on their hardest. We're here? They want to put fencing here?
Well, they were with
Some of the people here see
Sure.
how they felt.
Oh, super safe.
Let's talk about what you think about the CFIA
Just like the ones
even
they
going
have.
ahead with this call in the first place.
Well, as you can see, there are people from all walks of life here. It's has a bit of a ostrich Burning Man vibe. There's a rainbow VW bus here. Lots of trailers, tents. Some people appear to be just here for the day. Some people, well, are here for the full pull. I think that might be me. But right now, there's not a ton happening. So we're investigating this together because this is the first time I've been to the ostrich farm. But when I pulled in last night, it was dark. And so I didn't really see quite how many people were here and how many vehicles were here or the ostriches at all. So we're on a learning adventure together. And there are some characters here. And I believe Drea and I might be those characters too. I'm just walking down to one of the ostrich enclosures just to get a better look at them. But they seem pretty calm right now. But Drea was explaining to me that the reason there's not a lot of drone footage, and the reason I didn't bring a drone, was because the drones frighten the ostriches. And so they've asked that people not put their drones up. I see there's police down, I don't know if you could see, down at the end of the road? Are they have a camera? I wonder if they're with a journalist. I'm just gonna walk. Actually, let's have a little looky-loo at these ostriches. This police line here, once you get near it, you will be descended upon by police. They really don't want anybody near this for some reason. So there's a couple of different ostrich enclosures. There's the first one where that red barn is, and there's this one with the Quonset. There's another one over there, and there must be another. And this whole place is basically surrounded by police cars on all sides. In fact, last night when we were in bed, I mean, there's not a lot of, as they say, light pollution here, but it was just red and blue flashing lights everywhere. You could see them on all corners of the farm. So they've got this place basically surrounded. Okay, let's walk back the other way. I saw a crowd of people walking up. Drea is currently uploading some footage, if you're wondering where she is. And I see some people up the road. I think maybe those are police officers. But there's still people coming in from everywhere.
Oh, that's him.
Yeah, there's another, pardon me, my nose is running, a van coming in to sleep, camp. Look, there's a tent on the roof. Let's go talk to these people.
Yes, please. If you have one,
Here, I'll just take your board too.
Well, there's the Tesla that they promised would be here. That police officer had a mask on, so I don't know if she's sick or worried about getting sick, but that's the first one that I saw with any sort of PPE against avian flu.
don't worry about what's in the field unless you see somebody running along with 20 horses who's going to run over everybody. Yeah, they're going to hurt everything back there, but